Hey, Michael, how are you?
Doing great today. Excited to have the chance to speak with you.
As I was saying before, one of the things that I missed over the last 2 years or so is talking to people because my show is solo now, so I don't get the chance to talk to people and ask them halfway decent questions anymore. So that's the reason why I'm doing these rapid fire connections because twofold. I want to talk to people because I love people, and I want to connect people to other people. So I want to learn a little bit more about what you do. So give me a sense of what is Freedom Business Forum and why did you start it? Why did you create it?
Sure, I'll be brief with that. Years ago, I got into sales as a profession accidentally. And you spend most of your time in that world learning how to create business opportunities. And a lot of that involved establishing relationships with the right people for, referral opportunities. Fast forward to the last decade or so, where I chose to leave corporate sales and go into work on my own. And I became this case study of what are all the good, bad, and indifferent things that happen to a self employed entrepreneur. The result, the Freedom Business Forum, is my answer to the self-employed entrepreneur who is vulnerable to isolation and typically starts a business with a lot of energy and a passion and a mission, but may not have a sustained plan to grow. And I saw those two things. Those were two things that happened with me, isolation and not having a long-term growth plan, and said, I want to create a community where entrepreneurs talk to each other about helping each other in those areas.
Yeah, one of the things that over the past, I would say 4 to 5 years, that's been become apparent to me is two things. Isolation is a thing, building alone, and community is literally everything. Um, what were some of the things that you noticed as because I heard you say you kind of took that route yourself. Um, that was the moment where you're like, okay, this is a thing, a big enough thing where I can make it a thing.
I think the thing that stands out the most, and I reference this a lot in my marketing and what you see on my website, is uh, the salesperson or the self-employed entrepreneur typically has this gravitational pull into networking groups. Possibly the most generic term. Every group is obviously different, but there's this feeling of get out in the world, craft your elevator pitch, and then money falls from the heavens. Uh, I'm presentable, I'm social, I love, like you, I love people. And I found that just traditional networking just did not yield what I was hoping for. I'll get quick analogy. If you're at a networking event and Elzie, you are a florist and it's February 11th and you get up and say, hey, I'm Elzie the florist. Do you know anyone who hasn't gotten red roses for their loved ones? I can almost predict how well that'll work for you. That's an extreme example. And what I realized was when you go to networking events, a self-employed entrepreneur needs a lot more than a place where they can share their elevator pitch.
Got it. So what if you could give one? I know there's a lot because I'm a self-employed entrepreneur myself, so we got a lot of issues. What would you say with the top two that you're seeing, right? Because you're working mainly with coaches and consultants, right? So what are some of the top one, two, issues that you're seeing?
I, Believe it or not, the number one thing is uh, mindset and emotional intelligence. And what I mean by that is, so if you're a self-employed entrepreneur and you get up today and you say, boy, I'm not really feeling that good mentally about life, my business, I'm not very confident. What do you do there? I mean, that's one example that is totally overlooked. and just assume that, hey, everybody's great. I think the other thing too is it's just creating an environment for people to say, I don't do sales well. I'm really concerned about, am I charging enough or too much in my business? These are the kinds of things, Elzie, we get into where you don't really go down that road when you're doing the name, rank, and serial number thing at a networking event. But as it turns out, it's those things. And then when you're around peers who are meant to build you up in mindset, EQ, pricing, talking about your offers, that's where you get the benefit of that.
I love it. We could probably do a whole conversation on just those two things, mindset and emotional intelligence, but we're not going to do that for the sake of time. Now, obviously, the folks that you want to get connected to are self-employed coaches and consultants, which is super clear. So if you're a self-employed coach or consultant, you're listening to this, connect with Michael. Duh. But how can they do that? They want to learn more about what you do, to get connected with you. Where can they find you?
The best way, Elzie, is my business is under my name. So Michael J, the initial J, Lynch, LYNCH.com is where I house my website. They'll read about the Freedom Business Forum there. And then right at the top of the page, Elzie, click a button to set an appointment. With what I do, Elzie, this is a, let's establish a relationship, have a conversation, then we'll decide, is jumping into the forum the right thing for you? So that would be the best approach.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Michael, for sharing your vision and helping us understand the need and the vision behind Freedom Business Forum. Listen, folks, if you're watching, listening to this, reach out to Michael because Elzie sent you. Until next time.
Thank you.